While I got this time here, go ahead and give y'all some updates on trucking schools, CDL trucking schools and companies. The first edition is going to be about the traditional schools, and then the second one's going to be on the companies. Now, I'll give you pros and cons for a trucking school. Pro is price. There's a lot of cheap trucking schools out there, and the good thing is too is these companies that you get hired for. A lot of them say that they will pay for your CDL school after graduation up to $5,000. That's going to be paid over time. Secondly, for the trucking school, which may not matter in the near future, 5-10 years from now, whatever. Most of these schools are teaching you in a manual transmission, so you won't have that automatic restriction. A third pro would be the scheduling. A lot of these trucking schools, the schedules are flexible. You may go Monday and Wednesday. You may be scheduled for Tuesday and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're going to get 3 days. Sometimes you get all 5 days out the week. Pre-trip, backing. You may get 2 skills of backing. You may get like straight line back and offset. Monday for straight line, Tuesday for offset, Wednesday for straight line, Thursday like that. Friday may be just road driving. So you get a lot of that with the schools. And then another pro is the convenience of, the location. So I'm speaking here in California. It's it's a lot of CDL trucking schools, a lot. And depending on where you stay, you have 4 or 5 of them right in your area, so you have options. Now the cons, you got the price is cheap, right? One of the pros about that price too, a lot of them will let you pay a down payment and then pay over time, so that helps. But the con with that is you're going to be in CDL school in those schools for a while. It's not going to be one of those 3-week courses or anything like that. It's definitely going to be months with an S. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6 months just to get your CDL. And that's hoping you pass your tests, because if you fail 3 times at the DMV, then it's a lot of stuff you got to do over and you got to pay over. So that's one of the cons is how long it takes to actually get licensed. Another con from the school that I was at, maybe a con, may not be. It was 28-foot trailers. So I say it's a con because when you get out there and you're driving a 53-footer, that turn radius is different. You may not make that turn at the same point where you make that turn on that 28-footer. You may have to go deeper so you won't, run nobody over or hit that curb, or you actually may have to go into the opposite lane depending on the streets. Versus with the 28-footer, you may not have to encroach the oncoming traffic. So that's another con. And also with the school I was at, they don't teach you coupling and uncoupling. So that's a con. Of course, you'll learn that later on, but it will be good to learn that, get a little hands-on at school, even if the instructors showed you a couple of times. But you're not going to learn coupling and uncoupling. You don't even touch the landing gear. Like, none of that happens with those 28-footers at the school I was at. And that's a con to me. The backing, again, that could be a con. Could be a pro. But I was told if you can back a 28 footer, then you can do a 53 footer. Only because, first off, you learn, the main thing is learning how that trailer moves. You know, which way that thing is going, which way you should turn. But the thing about the 28 footers is it gets away from you quick. You know, with the 53 footers, you got more time to adjust. You know, it's not swinging so fast out your, you know, it's not as quick. It doesn't, you know, swing or swivel or swerve as quick as a 28 footer. You know, you go too hard left and you don't come back in time, that thing's all, you like, oh wait, which way do I go? It can confuse you because it happens so fast. Versus the 53 footer, you know, it's slowly, gradually moving. So I think that's a con, but it also can be a pro because it'll teach you, you know, how to handle that 53 footer, or it can just confuse the heck out you. So I would think it's a con because it's just, you know, it's a 28 footer, and that's not what you're going to be driving for the most part. Most of the time, you're going to be driving 48s to 53 footers, so you would think that that's what you want to practice on. But a pro in that is these CDL schools are not as big, so they have to accommodate the way they can, and the way they accommodate is by having 28 footers. That way they can have more trucks and they can have more room to do those backing maneuvers and things. So I guess in a way it helps them, you know. Another con for the schools is it's a lot of students. So that's why it takes so long, because your schedule, you know, they schedule accordingly. They can't just say, okay, well, boom, he already tested out on a pre-trip, which you can. You know, if you go the first week, you can test out. Usually you start like on a Friday or Saturday, just a intro to pre-trip, and then they'll give you your schedule for the following week. And if you're comfortable, if you already kind of know it, you can test out, and they'll test you out. Then you can, you know, jump into the skills and things like that. But another con with that is, if you're not paid in full, that DMV exam is going, it's going to be pushed back and back and back, because they got to take care of people that paid in full. That's kind of sucks, but they do pay more attention to the people that already paid, because they're like, well, these people already paid in full, you know, and we got to move them along, versus the person that put down the $200 deposit and still owe $1,400. So why would we teach you everything and you may just leave and may go pay, you know, X, Y, and Z a few dollars to borrow their truck? So, which you can do, but yeah, so you're not going to get, you're not going to move along fast if you pay payments. But everybody's situation is different. So, I mean, it's not a rush to get your license. Trust me. Take your time, learn it. If you don't got it, just keep practicing and learn it. You know, you'll get it. It ain't for everybody. Now, so if you don't pay in full, it's going to be extended, you know, your time. I met a gentleman there that was, he was there over a year. Now, he did take a break in between, like a month or two, but still over a year. I'm like, wow, like, you know, that's a long time. But again, that's just, you know, everybody's situation is different. So the class size is, you know, it's a lot of people in class. They give you good material, so it's really up to you to study. Now, another pro is these schools are open usually Monday through Saturday. Usually closed on Sundays, and they're usually open around 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. Saturdays, they'll be open probably like from 8 to 1, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. But you can go up there anytime you want and do pre-trip. So if you want to go up there, they have trucks that's stationary that don't really move and stuff, but you can start them up. You can practice on your air brake test and things like that. You just can't move them. But you can go up there and practice on these things. So if you want a actual hands-on and you actually want to be there and see what you're talking about, you know, brake chamber and brake drums and brake shoes to tires, you want to actually see what you're talking about, then that's good. So you do have that convenience too, where you can go up there and do your pre-trip. Now backing, that's something separate. You can't just go up there and start doing backing when you want. Like I said, they have set days for certain skills. Like I said, maybe Monday and Wednesday will be straight back and offset, because it's kind of, you know, in the same alley and category. Then you got parallel and parallel parking. Maybe they may have passenger side and driver side, or sight side and passenger side, or blind side and sight side. Maybe Tuesday and Thursday. And then you're going to have another week where you may have alley docking, you know, 45, 90s. So, excuse me. So that's one of those things. Now, one pro, which I don't know if it's really a pro, if you have it and you know your DMV test date comes up and you don't feel comfortable, you can actually pay $99 for an hour of drive time. That's one of those things too. It kind of sucks. I don't have a schedule with me, but the way the schedule was set, it was set for an hour. You'll have an hour drive time. It'll say from like 3 to 4 o'clock. That's your window, but you're only driving for about 15 minutes because there's so many students out there waiting, and it's only one person at a time. These are not sleeper trucks. These are just day cabs, so it's only room for you and the instructor. And you're only getting up a good 15-minute drive. You know, he's taking you around a few blocks, making some rights. When you're first starting off, you're only making rights. You're not making any lefts. And then maybe that same week, towards the end of the week, like if you started on Monday driving, by Thursday, Friday, then you'll start doing rights and lefts. Once they figure out that you got the shifting down, because that first day, second day, is all shifting. They're trying to teach you to shift. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to double clutch everything. Clutch in, you know, when you're putting it in gear. Clutch in when you're putting it in neutral. Clutch in again when you're going to the next gear. So it's constantly, you know, they're trying to teach you the proper way. Of course, you know, you're not really going to be doing that once you get in the real world. But that's just one of those things. So yeah, man, that's the CDL Schools 2023 edition, and this is October. So, you know, this is probably one of the latest videos. In California, they changed a lot of the rules. The pre-trip has gotten shorter. The overall test has gotten shorter. It seems like they really want people to get these licenses. The backing skills used to be 6 or 7 skills. It dropped down to 4, and it's all in one. So, I mean, you can look those up if you're in Cali. Some other states have already did it too. I think New Jersey, things like that. They've already changed the way it's being taught. And yeah, hope this helps you make a decision. Look for part 2 for the company provided CDL training.